Harry Kane is making a stance that he wants this move to go through. He feels that a gentleman's agreement has been broken, but Spurs are reportedly digging in their heels. They are absolutely adamant that they're not going to sell. That he's not for sale at all. And even so, the Evening Standard has even reported that Harry Kane is not for sale to an English club and will only sell for 150 million to a team abroad, which is astonishing. But let's read some of the incoming news stories coming out of this as of today. We got Fabrizio Romano, who commented 2 hours ago saying Harry Kane is the same position again today. He's not showing up for Tottenham training as he wants to leave the club this summer. It's a very tense situation with the Spurs board. Charlie Eccleshare also reporting no Kane return to Tottenham training today. As we reported this morning, he has no plan to be back at Hotspur Way until a move is finalised. So earlier this morning, very reliable sources were reporting that Kane isn't planning on coming back to Hotspur Way until a transfer has been finalised and things are moving in the right direction in terms of the transfer, which is very peculiar, seeing as why would he return once a transfer is finalised? But that's what they was reporting. However, in a slightly more encouraging news, I wouldn't say encouraging, but slightly a different take on it, as of an hour ago, there have been reports from Dan Kilpatrick and Romano, which I'll go through now. It says Harry Kane, Romano says first, Harry Kane is planning to return to training with Tottenham later this week. The situation regarding his future is still unresolved, to be discussed with the club. Harry will be back soon. Spurs were aware of his desire to try for a new challenge and to play Champions League football. And Dan Kilpatrick also says, I'm now hearing Kane is due back at Spurs later this week. The club is aware of his situation. Kane believes this has been blown out of proportion. I want to know people's opinions, maybe in the comments, or if you tag us in a tweet, we'll read out some of your opinions. Has this been blown out of proportion? What do we think? Do we think Kane is going to try his hardest to move out of the club? Is he being disrespectful? Or do you think he's just trying to kind of make a statement at the moment that he wants out of Tottenham, and he's not going to, apparently he doesn't want this to go much further than this week. He doesn't want this situation to rumble on. He wants to make a statement that he wants out, and he wants out of Tottenham, but he's not willing to let this drag on. Sky Sports tweeted out in their reporting saying, Harry Kane is planning to return to Tottenham this weekend. He doesn't want it to go on and on. He just wants to make a protest to vent his frustration. He believes verbally he was told that he'd be allowed to leave Tottenham if the right offer came in. However, that's the essential part. If the right offer comes in, as much as Kane will protest, he can put in transfer requests, he can do whatever he wants, but Kane was told if the right offer comes in, he'll be allowed to leave, and I'm sure that's true. I'm sure if we get 150 million, we will let Kane leave. The fact is, we haven't received that fee. He has 3 years left on his contract. He's a player who looks after himself very, very well. He's in the prime of his career, so I think 150 million for a player of his quality, one of the best strikers, if not the best striker in world football right now, is a fair offer. And people might say it's extortionate, it's expensive. People might say that how can we demand such a high fee? But look, he's our talisman. He's one of our own, and I think at the moment that Spurs are well within their right. Spurs are well within their right to be demanding that amount of money for Harry Kane. So it's on Man City to either stump up the cash or move on. Because I think Man City have reportedly made it very clear they're not willing to spend the 150 million Tottenham are asking for Harry Kane. So if that is the case, then they have to wait a year, and then maybe when Kane has 2 years left on his contract, they can get a lower fee. I just feel like Harry Kane at the moment, he's making a statement. He's letting it known to the hierarchy he's not happy with the situation. He wants to move on. He wants to try a new challenge. I don't think that's new to anyone. I think that's why, again, he's been missing today, which is, again, upsetting, but it's reality in these transfers, how they play out. But having said that, I don't think if he is to stay beyond the window, if Man City don't come up with the right offer, I'm sure he'll knuckle down. I'm sure he'll start producing and continue to bang in the goals in the Spurs shirt, because he's in that essence, I think I think he won't want his standards to drop. I think he'll want to do his best. He'll want another golden boot. He wants that Premier League goal scoring record. He's not going to let his standards drop even for a year just because he hasn't got his move. And I think he has too much respect for Tottenham to down tools in that way. I think at the moment, the way the club is at, I think he feels it's time to move on, seeing as we're in the Conference League. There's not much really to fight for next season. He knows we're not going to really be challenging for a title. Only things we're realistically in available to win in the Conference League, FA Cup and League Cup, which are nice to win, but he's a man who sets his sights a lot bigger than that, and he wants to be challenging for the top trophies. So I think he's going to try his hardest to try and force a move this summer. But I also believe if a move doesn't materialise, I think he will accept it for another year. He will knuckle down and he'll be part of the team. And I'm sure he has the respect of his teammates, even though he's trying to force a move. I don't think he's lost respect in the dressing room by any stretch of imagination. Apparently, it's come as no surprise. We can talk about this Athletic article from Charlie Eccleshare. He says, Harry Kane's rebellion, why he's doing it, Spurs' determination not to sell, and the gentleman's agreement, Levy says, never happened. And to talk about the bullet points from this Athletic article written by Charlie Eccleshare and Sam Lee, he says, Kane spoke to a senior non-English Man City player prior to Monday to inform him of his desire to join the club. Guesses in the comments to who that senior Man City player is. I'm going to go for Kevin De Bruyne, but I think that's the obvious choice. He goes on to say some Man City became aware over the weekend that Kane's intentions was not to train or play for Spurs ever again. After Monday's no-show, Kane does not plan to return to Hotspur Way until he has granted his wish to leave. Tottenham's position is they will not sell to another Premier League club under any circumstances. However, that was also the case as was the case when they moved on Luka Modric and Gareth Bale. Sources at the club insist that no gentleman's agreement has ever been made. Tottenham's frustration with Kane dates back a year ago to when the striker's post-holiday quarantining delayed his return to pre-season training and was perceived to have affected his performance on the opening day of the season. And apparently Jose Mourinho wasn't happy with Kane coming back late from holiday, forcing himself to quarantine. During the same summer last year, Man City held a strong interest in Kane until their attentions were diverted to Messi, which obviously didn't materialise last summer. Senior sources have spoken of their expectation for big signings beyond the anticipated 100 million acquisition for Jack Grealish. They remain confident that a deal can be done for Harry Kane. So it sounds like Man City are confident that even though they're going to get Jack Grealish for 100 million, they're willing to spend another big fee for a player, especially of Kane's ilk. And apparently Pep Guardiola has even abandoned his backup list for strikers this summer, as he only wants Harry Kane. He doesn't want anyone else. However, it says senior Spurs figures are furious at the course of action Kane has taken and will fine him if he does not return. So maybe that's why you are starting to hear stories at the moment that Kane is set to return to Tottenham later this week. I want to know in the comment section below, do you think these stories about Kane returning to Spurs training, is there a bit of a PR ploy to try and get fans and a public perception back on side, or do you think it's a genuine statement to say, I've made my case, I've made my position very, very clear that I'm not happy with how things are and what's happening, but I'm not going to let this situation rumble on the whole summer, and I will get back to training, and I just wanted to make my situation known to the board. I want to know what people's opinions. Maybe send us in a tweet, send us in a super chat, I'll read out some of your opinions live on the show. This Harry Kane situation is set to rumble on for a very long time indeed, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. Obviously, this is the Enoch out protest, so they've kind of made a bit of a joke of it, saying it's a Kane out protest. He probably should have squared it to Sterling, the sign says. And it's Ben holding a sign saying chocolate ankles, which I find quite funny. What does that sign say up there? You never got a touch on Eriksen's cross. So there you have it, Paddy Power tweeting out pictures of the Enoch protest. I thought that was quite funny, it made me laugh anyway.